Good morning. Welcome to Johns Hopkins School of Education follow-up house for the Master of Science in Education, International Teaching, and Global Leadership. My name is Sion John. I'm the Assistant Director of Admissions, and today presenting, we also have Dr. Richard Weisenhoff and also Ms. Betsy Mayotte. So now moving on to the agenda. So this is the agenda for today. We'll be going over an overview of the Johns Hopkins School of Education. We'll do faculty introduction. We'll do a program overview of ITGL. Next, going over the admissions requirements. And then we'll open up the floor for questions at the end. And we're very proud to share that we've been consistently ranked one of the top schools in education by the U.S. News and World Report. And these are some quick facts about JHU School of Education. If you're curious about the number of students we have here, so overall approximately 2,608 students. We do have over 30 programs. So we have our master's program, doctoral degrees, and also grad certificates. 75% female, 25% male. Again, very proud of our world-class faculty that we have here at School of Education. School of Education alumni, we have a total of about 22,000 alumni, and then of course our entire Johns Hopkins University network number is 220,000 for, like I said, the entire university. So at this time, I would like to open up the floor or pass the floor to our faculty lead, Dr. Richard Weisenhoff. He will introduce himself and then we'll go into the program details. In addition, Ms. Betsy Mayotte will also be introducing herself and also sharing information about the program. Thank you, Dr. Weisenhoff.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Rich Weisenhoff, and I'm the faculty lead for the program, and I'm also an assistant professor at the School of Education. As the faculty lead for ITGL, I'm responsible for setting up the schedule, and I'm also the advisor for a number of the students who are in the program. To give you a little bit of an idea about myself, I have been an adjunct instructor at Johns Hopkins since 1985. So I've seen the program blossom and grow and just really become something that meets the needs of a lot of different students. In addition to that, I have a tremendous amount of practical K-12 experience. I started as a math teacher. I became a math supervisor. I worked in central offices. I was responsible for technology for school systems in the state of Maryland. In addition, I worked at College Board for a while, and my last position in the K-12 environment, I was responsible in a school system for the development of curriculum and the instructional program in a school system. I'm now going to ask Betsy Mayotte, who will be co-presenting with me, to speak to her background.
Welcome, everybody. My name is Miss Betsy Mayotte, and I am one of the first people that our new applicants might run into as we communicate with each other. I help with the administrative part of the program. I'm a former senior administrator in the School of Education and made the decision to step down a few years ago, but I'm still able to work on some new initiatives in the school. And this is one of our exciting new programs that we are all very excited about bringing to you. My background includes quite a bit of higher education administration and work in the business sector in education as well. And like many of us who are involved in the program, faculty and educators, we started as teachers in the classroom. So we welcome all of you today to this presentation and hope we hear more from you over the coming months.
All right, so I'm going to talk about the program and give you an idea about what the International Teaching and Global Leadership Program is really all about. We had, last year was our first year, we had 15 students in the program, and this year we have 58 students. And I've interviewed each of the students, and all of them have a very similar theme that they really are looking for in this program. First of all, they all want to be leaders. And what we see this program as doing is really promoting leadership, and especially on an international level. All of our students come from overseas at this point, although we do integrate our students in with the School of Education. So that whole notion of leadership for international students is very important. And what we're looking for is our students to leave our program go out into the world and work to transform schools and school systems and other environments, because not everybody is looking to go into an educational center. We have people who are interested in going into the business of education. And what we try to do in our program is prepare all of our students so that they're ready for the world that they'll see in the education environment. So the question may be, why would you want to come to ITGL at Hopkins? Let me talk about several points. The first one is this is a 33-credit program, and it's completed in 1 year, which is a fairly fast program for a master's level, and that's why on the previous slide it had the word intensive. The students work very hard. It is a full-time program. And all of the courses, as opposed to a lot of other places, all of our courses are face-to-face. There are no online components to this, although some of our professors may have some of their classes online. There may be a little bit of hybrid, but for the most part, all of our classes are face-to-face. As I said before, we really focus on leadership. Leadership is an important part of this, and what we're looking to do, in fact, one of our courses is about effective leadership in education. We provide, because we are aware that we are an international program and students are coming from all over the world to join us, we have a cultural transition specialist. And her responsibility, this year it's a woman, her responsibility is to really help our students feel comfortable in the Baltimore area, providing a lot of different activities and ensuring that they're aware of Baltimore and the United States and the many things that we have to offer. I really like this part, and it's the notion of theory and practice. You'll get a lot of theory in the classrooms, but what we try to do in this program is not just have the theory, we provide the practical side of it. You'll be spending time in schools, you'll have an opportunity to hear from different leaders in the business field, and really see how the theory matches with what's occurring out in the environment. And of course, we have esteemed Johns Hopkins faculty. Our faculty are not just from the ITGL program. For example, Dr. Jonathan Plucker is a professor in our gifted program, and he's world-renowned in the area of creativity. Dr. Mariel Hardman, who teaches our brain-targeted teaching program, has actually written a book that was translated into Mandarin and has done work in China on the notion of brain theory and brain-targeted learning. So it's not just, because we are Johns Hopkins and because we have the faculty that we do, it really is an opportunity to interact with people beyond what you might see in a local university. So who is the program really ideal for? The program is ideal for people who are interested in primary and secondary education on a global level and are looking to become leaders. We do have an entrepreneurial approach, and in fact, I'm going to talk about a new focus area that we have coming in. But we do take a look at this program as not really to train teachers to go into the classroom, but to really look at a more global perspective towards entrepreneurship. There are a lot of courses on cognitive learning theory. We believe that our students need to understand what the latest research is on learning theory, and many of our courses really focus on that research. And research, we are a major research institution. That is one of our areas of being proud. So what you'll see is there'll be a specific course on research, but in addition to that, all of our courses, our students are expected to do a lot of research and to use that research as they write their papers and focus on their specific areas of interest. Let me talk for a few minutes about the program overview. I mentioned before that it's 33 credits, and I'll describe how that's split up over the course of the 3 semesters. It is face-to-face delivery. All of our courses are taught at the School of Education. Our School of Education is located right off of our Homewood campus in the center of Baltimore. Last year, as I said, we had 15 students in the program in an initial year. This year, we have 58 students in the program, and our expectation next year is to cap it at 90 students. So we're looking to add an additional 30 students on for next year. And that is based upon a new focus area that will be opening up for the next academic year. The program is taught in 3 semesters. Students begin in the fall semester So we will start in fall of 2020. That usually, it usually begins the last week in August. Then there is a break between our fall and our spring semesters, our intersession break. After that break, there's a spring semester, a short break, and then we go into a summer session. The program usually finishes the third week in July. The way we've developed the program is we have what we call focus areas. Okay, so if you're going into the International Teaching Global Leadership program, you'll want to identify the focus area that you would be interested in. And as you can see, there are 4 that we have listed on the screen. Early childhood is our first area. It is new this year. We have new courses that we've written specifically for this, and it's all based, as I said, on the research on early childhood. It is not to develop teachers to go into the early childhood classroom, although that certainly would be one of our focuses for that particular program, because we don't provide certification in our program. But if you're interested in learning more about early childhood, then that would be one that you'd be interested in. Our second focus area is digital age teaching and learning. For those people who are interested in discussing technology and education, how technology is integrated into the classroom, what are the latest technological innovations that are available, and what are their effects on learning. This semester I'm teaching a course on technology and the science of learning. And the intent behind that is to take the cognitive learning theory that we all know about and integrate it in with technology and see whether or not, for example, how much screen time is important for students. Should there be limited screen time? What do the cognitive learning theories talk about when they talk about technology and how it should be used within the classroom? The third area is creative and innovative education. And that's really meant for those students who are interested in creating programs that are cutting edge. Students there focus on creativity. They focus on the gifted learner and understanding what our advanced learners' needs are and developing programs specifically for them. Our last focus area, which is our brand new one, that's not even available yet, but it will be available come the next academic year, is entrepreneur in education. We've heard from a lot of our candidates and a lot of our students that they may not be interested in going into the classroom, that their focus may be starting up their own school, starting up their own education business. And the intent behind the entrepreneur education is to give students the tools that they need to begin that process, developing a business plan, speaking to other people who have created businesses that focus on education. That program, as I said, has no students right now, and that's because we'll be starting that come the next academic year. What are some of the advantages of joining our particular program? Well, first of all, we have our own orientation in August before the start of the academic year. We bring in a lot of people to talk to our students. We ensure that they are comfortable with the way that ITGL is organized and give them an opportunity to speak to the dean, to speak to all the professors, and to really learn what our program is all about. In addition, there are other social activities that go on during that same period where this year we took the students to the Orioles to see a baseball game. We took them to the beach off of the Chesapeake Bay. So we do a lot of social activities because the intent here is it is a cohort. And because it's a cohort and is a full support group, what we want is the students to really know each other before we even begin the program. As I said earlier, we have a cultural exchange and enrichment transition specialist, and she's responsible for having different events that are available. And if you go down to the fourth bullet, you can see we do have weekly social events and outings. There are different things that she plans for all of our students. For example, we just started a photography club that meets on Saturdays. And then she plans different kinds of trips that are necessarily academic in nature, that tie into it. She's taking 28 of our students this year to a National Gifted and Talented Conference that's going to be occurring. So while it's not as part of our program, it's an additional activity that's available for our students to participate in. And transportation is provided and registration for that conference is included, so there's no cost to anybody. We have something called extended learning, which I'll talk about in a little bit, and that talks to the practical aspects of our program. And in order to get to those extended learning activities, we provide transportation. So the bus will pick you up either outside of the School of Education or outside of the apartments that we utilize, and take the students directly to the locations that we go to. For example, last week we took one group of our students to a Montessori school to see how Montessori is organized in the early childhood level. And then we took the other group of our students to a makerspace right next to the Inner Harbor in Baltimore, where they had an opportunity to see an after-school program where students create things with tools, with 3D printers, and with all kinds of other materials. So that was one of the extended learning trips that we went to. And I think that really speaks to the whole notion of formal and informal learning. The formal learning happens within the classroom, but we know that it's not all about what happens in the classroom, that there's a lot to learn outside of the four walls that we have within our environment. And that's why we have all these extended learning activities and social events, so that informal learning occurs, that students have an opportunity to speak among themselves, to study together, and to really have that informal learning about what happens within the education environment. We're also very aware that this is an international program. This year, a majority of our students are Chinese students, and we offer language support services. We have 5 tutors that are available at no cost to our students. So that, and it's available for students who are native English speakers as well as speakers of from other countries. The intent behind that is if a student has a paper that's due and they need assistance, the tutors are available free 24/7 via email, and we'll work with you on ensuring that the work that you're doing meets the language requirements that we have within the school. So how do we break the program down? I'm going to spend a little time on this slide to try to help you understand it. There are 3 types of courses that students must take within this program. Students who take this program get a Master of Science in Education. That's what their diploma will say. And within that, there are 3 courses that all students in the School of Education who are getting a Master of Science in Education must take. There are also what we call ITGL core courses. So no matter what focus area you select, you would take those 4 ITGL core courses, and that's where you would see things like brain-targeted teaching, excuse me. There's a course on international global policy, because this is an international program. There's a research course that's available that you must take, and those are within our ITGL core courses. So there are the 3 required courses for the Masters of Science in Education. There are the 4 courses that are ITGL courses, and then in addition to that, there are our focus area courses. So if you're in the early childhood focus area, or if you're an entrepreneur in education focus area, you would take 3 courses. And those courses would be only for those students who are in that particular focus area. So that's where that notion of cohort really plays in. The way we divide the program up is, as I said, in those 3 different areas. They're in 3 different semesters, excuse me. So fall 2020 would be the first semester that you'd be here. The semester usually begins, as I said, around August 26th or 27th. You'll take 3 3-credit courses during the fall. You'll have a 2-credit seminar, and the seminar is an opportunity for students to become leaders within the program. And then there's the extended learning activity. There's a total then of 11 credits that you would take in the fall. In the spring, there are 4 3-credit courses that you would take. There would be that seminar again and the extended learning. So in the spring, you would take 14 credits. The summer of 2021 is a shortened time period, and we heard from our first group of students that it's too much to have 11 each semester. So that's why we have more courses in the spring, and in the summer, we reduce it to 8 credits. And then you would take 2 3-credit courses. You'd have the seminar and the extended learning. This program does not require a thesis. You do not have to do a master's thesis in this program. Instead, what we do is we have a digital portfolio. Students are required throughout the course of the program to work on and complete their digital portfolio. In order to graduate beyond being successful in all 33 credits, our students must complete the digital portfolio, and they present their digital portfolio to faculty at the last week of school during the summertime. And the faculty then will have an opportunity to evaluate the work that the students have done. So it's not a thesis. Instead of a thesis, it's done that way. Okay. The extended learning is the part that, one of the things that I'm really excited about. We're working right now on the entrepreneur education extended learning, and what we're thinking about doing beyond taking our students, we will be taking them to schools, but not really focusing on schools as much, but taking them to education businesses in the area. Pearson has a very large presence in Baltimore. Laureate Learning has a big presence. Sylvan is here. In addition to those, there are other education businesses that we'd like to tap into, and our people who are helping us develop this program have connections in the educational business field. And what we're going to be doing is a lot of conferencing with those business leaders. So you may be in seminar, and instead of having a regular seminar, you may end up with a Zoom interview or a go-to-meeting interview with those leaders and have an opportunity to interact with them and learn from them. But beyond that, we also have our trips for the other students that will be interested. Going into different schools, this year we took our students to the aquarium and to the Baltimore Museum of Science. And the idea was go there, take a look at what's at those places, and then develop activities that would work with them, bringing them into your classroom. So it's not only what's happening in the classroom, as I said, but going beyond the four walls. At this point, I'm going to turn the microphone over to Betsy Mayotte, who will talk about different aspects of the administrative side of the program.
Right. And even before talking about the administrative topics, we wanted to share with you some feedback we received at the end of our very first cohort. We asked our students who finished our first year of the program, tell us a little bit about your experiences in the program. And we wanted to share just some of the comments we heard from our graduates. These are now alumni of the School of Education. We wanted to share with you some of what we've heard. And I think if you look at these comments, you will see they really reflect what you just heard Dr. Weisenhoff say about the design of the program. So one student told us, ITGL, and by the way, that's how most people refer to our cohort program, because it's a long name. ITGL is more than a master's degree program for me. It is a place for us to connect, challenge, discover, improve, and enjoy. And then she said, the whole cohort is like a big family with supportive teachers and classmates. And we think this really speaks to the model of the program that we think is very effective. It is a cohort program. And that means that all students go through the same courses at the same time. I should have said, all students in a particular area of focus. Some classes also include other students from the School of Education, not just ITGL students. But our students in our cohort program begin to know each other very, very well. And that lends to a very rich learning experience and reinforces what you just heard Dr. Weisenhoff say about the fact that it is both an in-class experience as well as a personal experience, a growth experience for our students. Whether those students are international or domestic, we are all learning through this program. Another student said to us, you set a good example for me about how to be a qualified teacher. This experience will be a shining point in my life's journey. And we think this speaks to the really very, I would say, deep relationships that grow between the students and their faculty. The faculty in this program are so excited to be teaching in the program, and as Dr. Weisenhoff said, these are faculty from around our School of Education, and what they do is show through their own experience a role model for our students in the program. The next statement from a student speaks to the theory and practice idea that Dr. Weisenhoff just mentioned. So this graduate said, I think this ITGL program has helped me grasp theoretical knowledge about education and then how to design a program. So taking the ideas and bringing them to life. And then finally, the last quote on this slide comes from a student from a graduate who said, "The ITGL cohort helped me develop global education leadership skills that will help me address future challenges in education." And that really speaks to the heart of the program and why we designed this program. It is for our students to take what they learn in the program and as graduates and as alumni go back to their home country, wherever that is, and use the knowledge, use the skills to help transform education. And so we were thrilled when we saw that our current alumni, our first group of alumni, really did grasp what we were trying to share with them. So now we wanted to share with you some of the administrative steps that interested applicants would follow if they would like to pursue the ITGL cohort program. So the next slide speaks to the application requirements. I'd like to say a few words about the first requirement, and then I will turn it over to Sion Jian from our admissions office. So our program, the ITGL program, is a little different from other programs in the School of Education because the very first step in our admissions process requires that our applicants go through an ACEE screening. And I want to pause for a moment and just mention that the School of Education has developed a collaboration with ACEE Global, which is a company that helps us through the screening process and also helps us in offering additional services to our program. And I'll speak more about those in a moment. The screening is an actual video conference that applicants would schedule with ACE, and through that screening process, we're able to determine English language proficiency skills from the applicant who's interested in applying. So that's really the very first step. From there, applicants then go on to the rest of our admissions requirements that are standard in the School of Education. And I'd like to ask Sion if she'd say a few words about these admissions requirements. You may have questions about these at the end of as we get towards the end of our presentation.
All right, thank you, Betsy. So as you can see, for the application, we do require a minimum GPA of a 3.0 on a 4.0 scale. The online application for admission as well, which you can find our online application on our school's website. If you click on the admissions tab on our website, there is an $80 application fee that is required that you will have to submit when you submit your application. We do require an updated resume, CV, 2 letters of recommendation. Again, we would like to see a mixture of, if we can do anything academic from a professor, if you have any professional experience from a supervisor. So those are all good ideas for, in terms of who you want to ask in terms of your letters of recommendation. An essay is required for this program. And then lastly, official transcripts from all post-secondary institutions attended. So even if you took a couple classes at a different institution, we do require official transcripts from all post-secondary, even if you did not receive a degree. I will share, and I'm going to share a little details later on the next slide regards to international students. We do require that your transcripts must be evaluated, so you need to have a course-by-course evaluated transcript from all post-secondary institutions. So as I mentioned, please submit a passing IELTS score or TOEFL score. If you qualify for a TOEFL waiver request, that form is also on part of your application. You could submit it. Then again, we'll review it and we'll let you know whether or not you qualify to have the TOEFL waived. Again, submit a course-by-course evaluation of your academic credentials, for especially if your degree was earned outside the U.S. So please look at our website to look at the list of approved credential evaluation agencies. So we do have some important ITGL application dates coming up. We have 3 rounds. The first round, when applications are due, it is November 1st, 2019. And as you can see, when you apply November 1st, you see the decision date notification, the enrollment deposit deadline, and the signed MOU deadline, which Betsy will actually explain pretty soon. Our second round is February 3rd, 2020 for application. And then our third round is March 31st, 2020. In order for your application to be completed, all materials must be submitted. So your transcripts that are evaluated must be submitted by the deadline date. And Ms. Betsy will explain a little bit more about the signed MOU deadline.
Thank you, Sion. If we move on to the next slide, you'll see the ITGL tuition and fees. The tuition for the 3-semester program is $48,000. All full-time students at Johns Hopkins University are required to purchase health insurance through the university, and so there's a fee for that. We do have a technology fee that helps to cover the technology, including the digital portfolio that you heard Dr. Weisenhoff mention earlier. All students would pay the application fee as they begin the application. So the total mandatory tuition and fees for the program would be $51,786. When students accept the offer of admission, there is a non-refundable deposit of $3,000, and that is paid upon acceptance of the offer of admission. And you could see the deadlines for those payments are on the application dates that Sion just mentioned. Now, in addition, I want to speak to the Memorandum of Understanding in just a moment, but I'd like to explain that there are some additional choices that students in the ITGL cohort have that we know many of our current students and our past students have very much appreciated. And these are services, 2 areas of services that are provided by our partner ACEE. One of those areas of services that students may choose if they wish we call those housing services. And what this means is that students who choose to begin the ITGL program can select to purchase their housing through ACEE. And the reason we know this is such a benefit to our students is that Johns Hopkins University, many of our students are surprised to learn this, Johns Hopkins University does not provide housing for graduate students. And so sometimes students arrive in Baltimore and they expect there's an office of housing and this will be an easy thing. It actually is not. So the other thing about housing in the United States is that typically apartments do not come furnished. And we have come to learn that that's a surprise to many of our international students. And so for these reasons and for many other reasons, we are partnering with ACEE, who provides housing, and then students would pay for that housing up front for the year. And the housing includes fully furnished apartments, all utilities, everything that you could imagine, air conditioning, high-speed internet. Students can choose either to share an apartment or actually have an apartment on their own. If students choose the housing services, they can also then benefit from transportation to and from the airport as they come into the country and leave the country. So we know this is a tremendous benefit to our students. Again, it is a choice. It is not a requirement. The other area of service that we know is a benefit to our students is coaching and career placement support. And you can see on the current slide the many benefits to selecting this service from ACEE. We know that many students who choose the ITGL cohort are looking to do something with the degree after they finish. And this service actually helps our students if they are looking for the OPT experience after their year in the program. For those of you who might not know what OPT means, it is optional practical training, and it is something that is administered by Johns Hopkins University for international students. It enables them to stay in the country for an additional period of time after they complete the degree program. And so to participate in OPT, graduates would need to have an internship lined up or a job lined up. And so these ACEE services help our students and then who become graduates, help them find those internships or placement services. So again, we know from experience from our first two groups of students how beneficial these two areas of services are. And so when students apply to the program, and they accept their offer of admission to the program, we ask that they sign a memorandum of agreement that acknowledges they understand that the payment for tuition and services, any services they select, all of this will be due by June 15th, 2020. All right? And we can, if anyone who has questions about this, we're happy to speak more to this during our Q&A period. So I'd like to turn it back over to Sion, who will say a few words in helping us to move towards the end of our presentation here. So here's Sion.
So moving on to the next slide, it is financial aid. So for financial aid, for federal and state aid, keep in mind that if you are a U.S. citizen or eligible non-citizen, if you have a green card, a permanent resident, you are able to apply for financial aid. The recommended submission, FAFSA, the FAFSA form is by March 15th. For those who are international students, we always highly encourage, since you are not able to apply for federal aid here in the U.S., but to look for additional aid or scholarship opportunities in their country or government. Mm-hmm. So in regards now the contact us, so if you have questions regards to the admissions process, if you're sending your course-by-course evaluation electronically, or if you're mailing it for those who are domestic students, here's the email address, and then the phone number, the fax number. This is our mailing address. Like I said, this webinar it is being recorded right now, and it will be shared on our website. So again, if you missed this slide, you can definitely review it later on. So more contact us information, admissions, SOE-admission support at jhu.edu. If you have any program-related questions, we have the academic coordinator, Carol Herman. This is her email address. And then, of course, our faculty lead, Dr. Weisenhoff, and this is his address as well. So at this time, we would like to open up the floor for questions. So like I said, if you can type your questions in the chat box, I will actually read your questions, and both Dr. Weisenhoff and Betsy will be answering your questions. All right. I'm going to bring...
Thank you, Sion. We'll take the questions one at a time as she reads the questions out.
So our very first question that we have from Nan is, after accumulating enough 33 credits to graduate, can students apply for an extension and take other 9 additional specialized credits on another focus to receive dual degree?
Unfortunately, no, that's not possible from with the way the program is structured. So the answer to that question is no.
All right, moving on to the next question we have from Peggy. Is it possible to complete ITGL 33 credits within 1.5, 2 years instead of 1 year?
So the program is structured, Peggy, to be a cohort program, which means that you take your classes with all the other ITGL students at the same time. It's why we have one start time and finish at the same time. So what our expectation is that students will take their classes with the other students who have been accepted for that specific cohort group, and they'll finish the program within the three semesters. So there is no opportunity to extend beyond the 3 semesters.
Wonderful. The next question we have regards to tuition. Can students pay tuition fee per semester?
Unfortunately, that is not, well, let me answer it this way. For students who are U.S. citizens and have selected financial aid, payment for the program is spread out through the financial aid process. For international students, the payment is due by June 15th, 2011.
No, 20.
Excuse me, 20.
2011.
Oh, my goodness, 2020. Where did that
Correct.
come from? It's going back in time.
Our next question regards to now ACEE. How much is ACEE expense?
So I would encourage, that's a wonderful question. I would encourage you to look at the website for the ITGL program. We actually have our own website, and we will include that in the slide information that we post after the program. On the ITGL website, you will see specific information about the cost of each type of housing, the single housing or the shared room, and you will also find the cost for the career coaching.
Next question from Janice. What's the class size and the student-faculty ratio?
Very good question. So I have to tell you, it sort of depends on the faculty. So we have most of our classes, I'll give you what's happening this particular semester as an example. Our early childhood students have 13 students, and they have 1 professor with 13 students. Our technology students have classes now with 15 students in the class. So it's 15 students and 1 professor. If we go beyond 20, and there's only a few classes where that may happen, then we provide a teaching assistant in the class. But typically what you'll find is there'll be classes no larger than 20, and usually running about 15 to 17 students in a class.
All right, thank you. The next question from Lucy. Can I apply to ITGL and other programs under School of Ed department at one time? And I can answer that from a mission. So Lucy, to answer your question, you're not able to apply to ITGL and other programs concurrently, but you are more than welcome to apply to another program the following year if you decide that, the first program that you apply to and you decide to just kind of change your mind and reject the offer. But no, you are not able to apply to several programs all at once. Janice asked, can you accept a part-time bachelor degree which is from a recognized Chinese university? Janice, we asked for a bachelor degree, a 4-year bachelor's degree from a recognized university in China to answer your question. And Betsy, if you want to elaborate on that.
If I could just add a little bit to that. This is a wonderful question that you asked because we get so many questions from international students. and that are very specific about their situation. And so this is one of the reasons that the School of Education requires all international transcripts go through a course-by-course evaluation by, most students end up using WES. I think the other one is ECE. And so it is through that process that we can be certain that the degree you have from the institution you attended is the equivalent of a U.S. four-year bachelor's degree. And so we hope that answers your question, but we understand many students have many questions about this.
Wonderful. Thank you for elaborating on that, Betsy. The next question we have is, what if I failed some credits? So students who might have failed some classes. Again, that's
Are we talking about undergraduate level?
for undergraduate.
So we evaluate the transcript requirements are that you have a 3.0 GPA undergraduate. So as long as your GPA is 3.0 and you have received a bachelor's degree, then we don't do a course-by-course evaluation that way.
Wonderful. The next question from Lucy again. Could you tell me more details about career plans for ITGL graduates?
So if the question is asking about where our graduates are right now, so this is a fun one to answer because this is our first group of graduates that we are staying in touch with. And we know that quite a few of them are engaged in their OPT experience right now. Some of them we know are working within even Johns Hopkins University have been able to find some placements here. We know one of our students has gone back to China and is working in a university there specifically because of this degree. So we're extremely proud of that. And we know some,
Yeah. Yeah, we have one student who is working on her doctorate now, and another one who is in Taiwan working with students and is applying to several doctoral programs. In fact, a couple of our students, what their plans were to come here, take the program, and then after they graduate from the program, do the OPT, the on-site practical training, and then while they're doing that, apply for doctoral programs, and then continue their studies here in this country at a doctoral level. Although we also have some students who are working in businesses, in education businesses now. So there's not one answer. The other thing I would say about this, and it's nothing that we really focus too much on, is we do provide career planning assistance. We have somebody who is working with us now to identify mentors for our students while they're here. We also have all of our students creating a career plan, and it's our intent to not just teach them in the classroom. It's more of that informal learning and that ability then to do career planning. And we do have somebody who works with them through ACEE.
The next question is, someone asked about GRE requirements. And GRE, there's no test scores that are mandatory, no mandatory test scores that are required for this program. We do have about 2 minutes for questions. The next one is, because all students studying 4 majors will be taught some same courses, can students change their minor focus and when?
Students take their first focus area course the first semester. So you need to make the decision prior to registering for the first semester. So prior to that fall semester, once you're in that focus area, it's impossible to change because, as I said, it is a cohort program. So all of our students take their first focus area course first semester. And there really isn't an opportunity to change once you begin the classes.
Wonderful. Will there be any opportunities of internship to help students adapt faster in further work after graduation?
I think that you're referring to the OPT. I really suggest you take, if you're unaware of what on-site practical training is, you may want to examine that through our Office of International Studies that we have here at Johns Hopkins. You can get more information about that. And that really is where the internship component would come in. Those could either be paid or unpaid while you're here from 6 months to a year after graduation.
The next question is regards to TOEFL score. What is ITGL's requirement for TOEFL score?
So the ITGL program requirement in the English language proficiency area are the same as the School of Education's requirement, which in the area of TOEFL, we're looking for 100 on the internet-based TOEFL. And IELTS, we're looking for, so for those of you who are looking at the, or have taken the IELTS or planning to take that, that would be a 7.0 in the overall band.
All right, so at this time, we are now going to end the virtual webinar for today. I know there were a couple questions that we were not able to answer due to time. However, like I said, we will definitely, we have recorded this session, and what we're going to do is hopefully reach out to you guys and let you guys know that the video is available. And in addition to that, feel free to always reach out to us. And if you have any questions, and we are more than happy to assist you assist you in regards to the application process and answer any questions you have about the program. So thank you so much for your time, and we look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.